Hi, this is Shayna with Against the Grain Homestead. It is about 9 o'clock at night, and I am going through our okra. So I'm getting ready to process some okra. I'm going to pickle some to can. That's a staple around here. And I'm also going to keep some for fresh eating. And then some I will have put back. I will chop it up and batter it and freeze it for fried okra in the future. But I thought I would jump on and show you the different sizes of okra and how I determine which ones I want to pickle, which ones we want to eat fresh, and which ones we want to batter and fry. So to kind of show you what the finished product somewhat looks like, so here's a little example of our pickled okra. Okay, so this is our favorite way to have okra. This is a staple at home. We eat fresh and steam. So this is steamed okra that I made a couple days ago. So it's been in the refrigerator and I just heated it back up in the microwave just for a little bit. But this is steamed okra and it is so good. And you can see that it is not stringy or tough. It is really good. We chop up just like this, or again, I will cut them up just like you saw, or I will go ahead and batter them or bread them. All right, so those are the three ways that we use our okra. Okay. So let me go ahead and show you our quantity that we just picked today and yesterday and how I sort through it for the sizes. I have already sorted through them and I already have them designated as to what they're going to be used for. So this batch here is going to be our pickled okra. So how I choose what goes into our pickled okra is I look for okra that, now this is for our personal taste, okay? You guys might like it a little different, but we love young, tender okra, okay? We don't like the strings. We like it whenever you bite it off, it leaves a clean bite and not strings. So we believe that the best okra for pickling is when it is 3 inches long, and that means from right here on the seam, not the part that you cut off, but right there to the tip. We believe the best is when it is 3 inches long or shorter, okay? We will go up to 4 inches, but only if it meets another criteria, as long as it is still smooth. So this one here is 3 inches long, so this is prime candidate for pickling. Now here is one that we are also going to pickle. This one is actually 4 inches long, but you can see it is still smooth, okay? So this one here is good for pickling. Now I will not go past 4 inches no matter what. For one reason, we pickle them in these wide mouth pint jars. So one reason I won't go over 4 inches is because of this right here. 4 inches plus a little bit of the stem fits just right. Now if you do find that you prefer like 4.5 inches, just go ahead and clip the stem off really close. Okay, you can do that. All right, so that's what these are. These are going to be pickled, and that is how I define which ones are going to be pickled. Now this middle section right here, this little amount, these are going to be for fresh eating, okay? So we really enjoy steamed okra. So these are going to be steamed, and we steam them and we just simply use salt, okay? It's just delicious. The factors that I look for steamed okra, most commonly they will be longer than 3 inches. They will still be somewhat smooth, and they will have a bit more ribs showing and developing on them, but the ribs won't be very well defined. They'll be starting to just define themselves, but not very defined. So these will make excellent steamed okra. Okay, now this section over here, this is what will be our cut okra. These are the bigger okra. Okay, so like here's an example. So this one is pretty long. This one is about 5 inches long. Okay, and you can see that the ribs are very well, and you can see that the ribs are defined very nicely. We really try to cut them before they're at this stage, but okra grows so fast. So as soon as it's like, you know, an inch big in a couple days, it may be 4 inches. So so we do try not to have these, but we always do. So the ones that have well-defined ribs, as you can see here, well-defined ribs, or ones that are, you can see the ribs on this one, or the ones that are pretty big around and well developed inside, those will be very stringy and tough. They are not good for pickling, and we do not like to steam and eat them because they tend to leave strings, but they are just perfect for going ahead and cutting up and battering and frying. Now, these two, let me go ahead and talk about these two. All right, so these ones right here, these are actually going to be also battered and fried. Let's talk about how I decided that these will be battered and fried. So here's one that will be steamed, okay? So you see this one, it's like 4 inches long, but it's still smooth. This one that will be battered and fried, if you look at them, they are the same length. See, they're the same length. So by the length, they should both be steamed, right? But if you look closely, this one right here has very well-defined ribs, and it is much bigger around, so it's going to be stringy. So I'm going to cut this one up. Now, this one here is also going to be cut up. Now, it's still pretty smooth. I mean, it does have some ribs showing, but overall it's actually smooth for the length that it is, because you can see it is longer than this one that's going to be steamed. So this one is still smooth, but it's longer than this one. So just because it's longer, there is a pretty good chance it's going to be pretty stringy. Now I could go ahead and take my chances and steam it, but I don't want to, because just from experience, I expect this one to be pretty stringy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it up and freeze it. Okay? So that is what I look for when I sort my okra, to know what I want to pickle, what we want to eat fresh and steam, and what we want to cut up and bread and fry or put in a gumbo or soup like that. More things. One, if you don't want to pickle the okra, but you do want to can it, again, I do recommend looking for this size, because you don't want it stringy, right? So I do recommend looking for 3 inches, no more than 4 inches, okay? And also the smooth walls and not very well defined ribs, okay? Now, if you are growing your own okra and you don't have enough to process or to can all that day, you can postpone your canning of okra for a couple days, and this is how you do it. You take just a plastic bag, and you put a paper towel in the bottom of it, okay? And then you put your okra on top of the paper towel, okay? And then you take another paper towel. I'm just reusing this one from earlier. So you just take another dry paper towel, of course, and put it on top of the okra. Just like that. Remove the air, most of it. It doesn't really hurt it. Go ahead and tie it up, and then put it in your crisper drawer in the fridge. You can see there's paper towels on both sides. And what this does, the paper towel, it absorbs the moisture that comes from your fresh cut okra, and it keeps the okra dry a little bit longer. It gives it a few extra days for your next harvest to build up so you have enough to can. And it keeps it from getting dark and slimy, but it'll only get you 2 to 4 days extra at the most, okay? 4 days at the most. At 4 days, you will have some that is starting to get black on the tips and slimy, but there'll still be some good okra. But 2 days, it is still just as perfect as if it was fresh, okay? So that's just a little tip for you. The fourth way that we use our okra is whenever we cut okra, it is inevitable that we will miss some of these little okra pods. Now I have already cut this okra, so like this one here is just a couple inches long. I'm going to leave it and I'll cut it tomorrow, okay? But whenever we're cutting okra, like I said, it's inevitable that you will leave some okra. You'll miss it. It is so easy to happen. Whenever you do find it, it will be ginormous, such as like this one here. Okay, so here's an okra pod. So whenever we find them and they're more than 5 inches long, we just leave them on the plant to mature, and that will be our seed okra. So all this okra has been grown from seed that I saved a couple years ago. We save our own seed around here. We just go ahead, just leave it and let it continue to do its thing, and it becomes our seed okra. So that's the fourth way, and I will show you in just a minute what it looks like whenever it is ready to mature. So there's one. I think I have some more over here. Here's another one. So this one here will be a seed okra as well, and it's like right here there's a couple. There's a couple, 2 or 3. All right, so there's some more. So you get the idea. So whenever it gets too big to cut to use inside, like I said, we just let it continue to go, and it will be our seed okra. Okay, so in case these okra plants look a little funky to you, we actually, we prune them. So this is what the okra looks like, the seed okra. So whenever it gets brown and the ribs start to kind of separate right there, that is when it is ready to go ahead and pick from the plant, and you can hear it rattle. Okay. So this is ready to open up, collect the seeds, and package up for next year's planting. These are the seeds out of just one rib section, okay? Each rib section has its own seed pouch. So we just keep doing that. All right, so that is the fourth way that we use a different size of okra. Well, that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I gotta get busy canning.